guys, it's Lisa back with another video for you on this Prompted Memories Christmas folio. When we left off, we had made the base and we had covered with pattern paper the front of the cover, the spine, the back, then this pocket assembly on the right hand side, and then this spread here that says Merry Christmas has got Rudolph and Santa, and then we added this little tuck space here to put some tags in, and then we covered the spine here. That's going to give it some stability, and we're going to continue on now with our matting. So if you're joining us midstream, go and look for the playlist for Prompted Memories Christmas Folio and start back with the first video, and that'll get you caught up through here. Okay, now let's see, what do we need to start on next? I think we'll do this pocket assembly here, and the way I did this one the first time around was this really cute paper because I wanted a lot of the paper to show, not just some small strips. So my plan to do is then to cover it and then continue on down from pocket to pocket. Okay, so let's see. We're going to need 5 1/4 wide. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the branding strip. And then I'm going to need 5 1/4 wide. Oh, look how pretty that paper is on the back. We'll get to that later. Okay, so now this is going to be here, but we're going to have it across all the pockets. So I'm going to write down what I need to cut in what order. So if I'm starting with the bottom, this is a 3-inch pocket, so I'm going to cut, starting with the bottom, I'm going to cut 2 3/4. Then the next one is a 1 1/2 pocket, so I'm going to cut 1 1/4. Same thing on this one, 1 1/4. And then here, this is going to be, it's a 2 1/2 inch, so it's going to be 2 1/4. Okay, here we go. Hold our breath. So I am going to start with the bottom. That's important to make sure we know which direction we're going. 2 3/4. Okay, that's the first one, starting at the bottom here. And then 1 1/4. There. 1 1/4. And then we're going to have a 2 1/4. Okay, so that should be what the assembly looks like if I did my math correctly. So when I open it up, this is going to be here on the E that we cut. These were my 2 F pieces. That's going to be the mats. Okay. And this is going to round out on the top. See how cute that is? That way you're breaking up the pattern, but you're showing more of it instead of just maybe this one small piece here. It makes a big difference, doesn't it, to have, even if it's cut apart, having the whole story, so to speak, there. Okay, so all that's left to do is I'm going to ink it up and glue it down. Be right back. Okay, so now I've got all those pieces inked around the edges and glued up, and so let me show you with the tag here. So you can have tags here, here, and here. So you got 3 spots to do different tags, memorabilia, or how have you. That's so cute. Hope you've enjoyed that technique. So now we need to find something to go in between here. So let's see what we've got. let's see, on the back of this we had this green. I kind of like that because it pulls in the red from here, the red and green here. Once we open this, I think that's kind of a neutral. So let's see, this is probably 8 1/4, what we need to cut, yeah. 8 1/4, and I think we only need a couple of inches because you just want it to go inside the pocket. So 8 1/4 by 2 inches, and I need 2 of those. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this down to 8 1/4. Okay, hold on to that piece. And now I need 2 2-inch pieces. So now all we have to do here is ink these up and put them in here. So I'm just going to make sure that this fits well and that I like the looks of that. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And so I'm going to need to ink on these 3 sides since one side's not going to show. So that's going to go back in like that. Okay. This is coming along so cute and quick, I think. I hope you all think the same. So I'm going to go ahead and put blue on all 4 sides. I just think this is the most beautiful vintage paper. There's some of it that I really did have a hard time wanting to try and cut. I know a lot of us have that issue on some paper. So I show you on the next step what I did or how I got around that. Of course, I did have to cut it, but I really didn't want to cover it up. So what I did is went ahead and put it down, and then I'm going to not really put anything on top of it. The tags that we're going to use, you're going to kind of clip up there so that we don't lose a lot of that space. Okay, hold on. Come on now. There we go. Work with me a little bit, paper. Okay, so now we've got that area done. So see, when you close the book, you open it. That's cute. So now we're going to start here. And I'll show you the paper that I had such a hard time cutting. Is that really vintage? Well, I guess it's all vintage, right? It has the ornaments on it. Oh, this piece of paper. I don't know about you, but I absolutely loved it. So I really wanted this one for a tag. So I kind of keep this one whole. I kind of looked at this page and said, what do I really want to showcase? And so I'll show you. I really like that one. So I kind of kept this one whole as a tag. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put twine on that later. So I really like this portion here that starts with Jolly Skater and goes down this tree topper into this piece right here. So we're going to cut from here over. And we know just about everything's 8 1/4 high, right? So 8 1/4. And then I'm going to come over 5 1/4. Okay. Let me make sure. Put my pen back in. Here we go. So let's see where 5 1/4 would put us, because I want to use this side with Santa. Let me take off that branding strip. Makes it easier to trim down. So 5 1/4 puts you right in that white. It's almost like somebody new. It's like exactly leaves you with this piece, which I wanted to use later for a tag. And then 8 1/4 kind of cuts it right under that little reindeer. Okay. Now this is what I did, and later on, if you want to do the same thing, we'll come back in, and I really wanted to showcase this. So after I glued it down, later, and when I used this paper, I used strips off of that paper to form a frame to go around it, because I really loved it. And I put a one of these owl clips. It's like a paper clip, it's a little fancy shape here, and I'm gonna put my tags on that so that when you take the tags out, you still get to see the pretty paper. You're not covering up by gluing straight down on it. Okay, so back to the inking. You'll have to let me too know if you all think it's worth all the inking. I absolutely do think it's worth it. Some things I don't think is worth doing, but this I absolutely do. I think it really helps, especially on some paper that's not solid core. It's got that white core in it. You need something on there to kind of pull that all together. Okay, so cute. So all there is to do is just glue this straight down. Look how pretty that paper is on the back too. Goodness, there's lots of pretty paper. And with this project, we're using a lot of it. We're not gonna have a lot left. We're not gonna have one paper uncut when we're done with this. So glue that down. That can be it if you want it to, or you can come back and put the frame around it, which we are going to do in this video. Well, this video series, I'm not sure if it's today. Whenever I cut that piece of striped paper, we're definitely going to do that. So on the next one, what I did is I used these blue ornaments, and I'm going to glue that down. And then when it comes time to decorating, we're going to put these on here. But then I decided I wanted some more tags here, so I made a belly band. So we'll do that together in just a second. So we need the same size as this one in that blue paper. So I'm going to pull that out. Blue ornaments here. Better put the pen in. Have you ever had your glue your pen inside, and when you try to take it off, the ball came off the top? I had that happen to me a couple of days ago. I thought, this is crazy. I've never. So let's see, 5 1/4, 8 1/4. Just want to be sure. Come on, take off the branding strip. Quarter by 8 1/4. And some people are proponents of keeping all those branding strips, and I do on occasion. You'll see me on a couple of the tags actually use those branding strips. So if you don't want to throw them away, keep them in its own little pile, and we'll use at least one later on. So here's these branding strips, because they have this piece on them that you might need. Maybe, maybe not, but I am going to hold on to them. So now I'm going to put this here. Yeah, so ink this up. So if you were in my Craft Acropolis class where we did this, please let me know. I am filming this before the class, so that hopefully, as you're taking this class, this series will come up, so that if you missed a step or just want to see a step again, you can see it. And for those of you who wanted to buy a kit, you can follow along. And for those of you who just want to make it with your own paper, of course, feel free to follow along. There'll be some affiliate links in the bottom description that'll take you to May Made It when you want to buy the kits. So please use that link. It's not going to cost you 1 penny extra, but it will help my channel to keep going. Much appreciated. Okay. So here's that. So let's go ahead and cut a belly band that's going to go on the top. Now let me measure this. The belly band needs to be 1 inch bigger than this, so 6 1/4 by about 1 1/2. So let's get some of that black cardstock out. I got so I wanted about 1.5 wide. See, I can't even remember from one to the next. Or is it 1 3/4? Come on. Okay, it was 1 3/4 what I wound up cutting. 1 3/4. By 6 1/4. 1 3/4. Okay. 6 1/4. Okay, put this in my scrap pile. And then what I'm going to do is, this is a belly band. You want to be able to use it both sides. Yeah, that's what I did. So with this belly band, in order to make it belly band, what we're going to do is we're going to come in 1/2 inch and score. 1/2 inch and score. I'm just going to test the size before I put away my board. So I want it to be right here. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so in case you missed it, that wound up being 6 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then I scored it at 1/2 inch on each side. So now I'm going to put some tape down. Get my block. Go. So no mitering, anything like that. This is just going to be an open belly band to just hold in some tags. Burnish that really good. Open this back up. And we're just going to kind of eyeball. Let's see, do I want it on the center? Say this was like 3. Yeah, we're just going to kind of eyeball center. Taking the backer off. And I would put this, we're going to put a few things on the bottom here. So I would put this more toward the top than in the middle. So you can just kind of eyeball it. But I don't think I'm going to put mine back in the center how I did my first one, because I wound up using some things here. I'll show you. I wound up, you know, putting Santa in a strip here. So this kind of makes more sense to go up a little bit. So there we go. So now we have a belly band. So then when we start making tags, they'll go right here. We can put multiples in there. And this, when we get here to making this is going to be a stopper. This will stop the tags from falling out the bottom. So what do we need to do next? We've done a lot. Look, we've got lots of this done. This, the front and the back. So the main sides are covered. So now we need to start working on some tags and then cover up the belly band. Wow, I'm kind of surprised we've got it all done so far. So let me see. So next up, let's go ahead and cover this belly band. You can use some of the scraps that you already have if you would like. Let's see what we have here. If we like this is exactly the right size because we used the back. So let's go ahead and do that. So this was 1 3/4, so this needs to be 1 1/2. So let's cut down to 1 1/2. And then that will go there. This is so cute. I can't wait to put pictures in it. Speaking of pictures, we haven't even got to the point where we've really talked about the prompted memories piece of this. So more toward the end, when we start doing our finishing touches, we'll start doing some stamping. And that will kind of tell you exactly what picture needs to go in exactly those spots. But, of course, not everyone's going to have exactly the same type of pictures, so it is customizable. But if you didn't want it to be, you could follow along and put exactly the pictures that you needed in exactly the spot. Okay, so now, who wants to make some tags? Yay! Let's do it. Well, let's make a tag before we start the next video. Let's make this tag. Isn't it cute? It's got a little jingle bell. Here's some of the things that's in your kit. You've got a jingle bell. You've got one of these owl clips, what we call it. But this is called like a regal trombone clips, what this one says. But this is the shape of it. It's this weird shape here. I've always heard them called owl clips, so we're going to use those. And then we're going to use these garment pins. They kind of look like, I don't know, it looks like a safety pin that's got a circle at the bottom. But I've always heard them called garment pins. So let's get out the little baggie that's in your kit. So if you didn't have a kit, these are some of the things that you're going to need. We've got like an, let's see how long this is. This was a 15-inch piece of black ribbon. We've got a 12-inch piece of red twine, a 12-inch piece of green twine. Then we've got one of those bulb pins or garment pins. Oh, I thought of it, bulb, B-U-L-B, pins, garment pin. We've got one of those owl clips, and we have got a regular old jingle bell. And that's what was in here. Besides, we already used one thing out of here, and those were the two tabbies, right? So we are going to put the twine away for this moment. Well, the owl clip is going to go inside your book, right here on top of this Santa, just like that. Either way you want this to show or this to show, whichever. So when we make our tags, they're going to go up here. They're not going to cover all of this up. Okay. Now in order to make this tag, we're going to cut out this December 25th, or you can use whichever cutout that you like. Then we're going to put a backer on it. Then we're going to use some white paper. We're going to do all kinds of stuff to this fun thing. So also in your baggie, you have lots and lots of tags. You have lots of shipping tags in 4 different sizes. So if you were not able to get the kit, you can get shipping tags at office supply stores, and also Brutus Monroe makes shipping tags in different sizes, and May Made It carries at least 1 or 2 of these sizes that you can pick up in her shop. So the biggest one in your kit, you're going to grab one of those, and then you're going to get one of the index cards. I'll put the rest of it back for now. And I did not want to cover up this beautiful Santa that we worked so hard on. See if you use the whole thing. So we're going to trim it down. And so the way I trimmed it down was I left about 5 inches off the top. So I'm going to trim that down to make this tag 5 inches tall. Okay, and keep this piece because you can stamp on this. I'm going to keep that piece. So now we have that. Sorry, I was trying to figure that one out. So you're going to take this piece of ribbon and you're going to trim it, cut it in half. Okay, you need 2 pieces. So what you're going to do is you're going to run it through here. You can use, let me put my pen in my glue, embossing tool, whatever you have, and push it through. Okay, pull it through the top. Now you have this loop. So don't pull that loop tight just yet. Okay. Now we're going to take this bulb pin and we're going to put our jingle bell on there. And then we're going to run this through that loop. Carefully, 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 without stabbing it. We're going to run it through that loop and clip it together. Now we're going to kind of pull down on that and pull it tight. So now you got your jingle bell on there. So, so cute. So now what we're going to want and put some pretties on here, right? So the photo that I'm going to put on here is going to be 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm just going to trim this down as a placeholder. Okay, so there's going to be my photo. Now I also want to go ahead and put some paper behind this since I already have this cut. Let's see what I've got cut. We need a mat. I'd like to have some red. Let's see what we've got here. That's probably going to work. My scraps. So if that was 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, this needs to be 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. That. So that's going to go like this. You could even make it a little bigger if you wanted to. So I was telling you about keeping on your scraps here. If you were desperate, you could trim this off and use it, but I have plenty of scraps of paper like this one. Yeah, this is plenty big enough. So I'm going to cut about 1/4 inch strip, this, like that. Okay. I'm just going to mark it here, how big I need for it to be. Trim that down. So now we have those 3 pieces. And then I wanted something in the corner here. So if you wanted to follow along with me and do that December 25th or December 24th, since that's when Santa comes, or if you want to use one of your stamps, feel free to do that. So let's look at the sheet that we have. So in the original, what I did is I put the 24th here on the inside, and I put the 25th on this tag for the outside. So I think the reason I did that is because if you put the 24th, you've already got a Santa here, and you're gonna have another Santa here. So I didn't really want to do that. So I think I'm still gonna go with my plan of using the 25th. So I'm just going to cut the 25th off, and while I'm trimming, I'm going to trim that 24th off. Let's get this branding strip. Let's go ahead and cut the 24th and the 25th. And just put that 24th in a safe place. You're going to need that a little bit. I have this Christmas. Let's see. And then I want to do a little mat for this, but not too big. So if I did 2.5, that would work. 2.5, I think so. So let's go 2.5 with this blue paper, so pretty. Alright, 2.5. So I think I have all the pieces that I'm going to need. So I'm just going to ink them up and be right back. Alright, so I've got all my pieces inked up, and I'm even going to ink up my tag, because I think it makes a huge difference. So if you see, this is what it looks like all inked up. You can see if you can see that. And this is plain, and this is inked. Okay. Now I'm just going to kind of assemble this together. I want this to be at the bottom, kind of anchoring everything else. So I think I'm going to put this down first, this little square. But put it close to the bottom, where this can kind of go over it. Even if there is some of the bottom sticking out, I think that's absolutely fine. Okay. So put this little strip on the bottom. Whoopsie! Look at that, it just pushed the whole thing right off. There we go. Now that's even with the bottom. Got the red here. So if I were you, I would not put this on really tight because you're going to put your photo here, but for the sake of showing you, this is where your photo is going to go, here. You could just leave the white piece off if you wanted to. And I'm going to glue the red 25 to the snowflake paper. That's my mat. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this like right next to where the jingle bell goes. So it kind of hangs off the side. So you can't put glue all over all of it. So the glue is going to go on these two sides here and here. So here and here is where your glue can sit. You can go back and add some more glue. Now if you had this placeholder too where your photo was, you'd want this to flip up. So you might not want to put glue on the very bottom. So see, I had some showing here, so I'm going to wipe that away. I'm going to add some glue around the edges. Hold that on. Okay, so this is what the back looks like. Okay, here's your front. So now you put a photo here and a photo here. And this is what's going to go on the front of our album. And I'm going to put the pin in my glue. I'm going to trim this up, and there will be another small tag here. But for now, put an angle right there. For now, this is it. So far we've got this front one done with the jingle bell. We've got everything matted. So thank you guys for hanging in there with me for another video, and I'll be back to finish up the rest of our tags and inserts, and we'll talk about stickers, and we'll even talk about stamping. Thanks guys. Bye.